Hello everybody, I'm Dan Phelps, and welcome to an unusual edition of Super Awesome Pedal Show. I've been having a lot of conversations recently where people are asking me about how I approach a pedal I'm not familiar with for the first time. It's kind of come up a few times, so I figured let's address it. And here's a beautiful pedal that I'm only somewhat familiar with. It's one of the newer ones in my collection. It is the Basic Audio Bi-Bias GE fuzz pedal. And as you can see, it has a couple of interesting controls here. And I figured it'd be fun to just kind of do a crash course both on this awesome pedal and how I approach working with something new. First of all, let's be brave, right? There's nothing wrong that's going to happen if we turn a bunch of knobs. And the worst that happens is it sounds bad. And the best thing that happens is that we discover something new to us. So let's dive in. I have my trusty Ronin Mirari. I'm playing through a Benson Vincent amp that Chris has graciously loaned to me, and I'm gonna pretend that I don't really know anything about this pedal, and we're just gonna dive right in, which is not gonna be hard because I have the long-term memory of a concussed duckling. So here we go. This is what the guitar sounds like on its own. That's the bridge pickup on this guy. So generally speaking, when I'm starting with something, I like to just put the knobs all at 12 o'clock and set the volume really low because I don't know what's going to come out. Nice orange LED there. And here's what we got. So there's a fairly chewy, kind of mid-gain fuzz thing happening there, kind of on the darker side. Usually with a fuzz, the first thing I like to do is see how much gain there is. So let's crank the gain. Chattiness there. Man, that's cool. So what I'm hearing is that there is a lot of sustain available. But it's not really an infinite sustain kind of thing. There's still a limit to it. And it's pretty chewy and mid-rangey in a nice way. So let's back it off from full bore and just listen to what the tone control does for us a little bit. Well, it doesn't make it crazy bright. It increases a little bit of the bite to it, and let's just go all the way the other direction. It's nice sounding. Not a crazy range on the tone control, and right up the middle sounds pretty nice. As you turn it up, you definitely get some more of that hair, the sort of like teeth of the sound, but it's not crazy. It's just really nice sounding. So now we have maybe the most unique controls on this guy. Which you see these on a lot of fuzz pedals now. We have bias and starve, and to the best of my understanding as just a lowly guitar player, the starve control affects the amount of voltage that the circuit is seeing. So you can sort of impersonate like a dying battery or a battery that's putting out less signal. And I believe bias changes the overall voltage that the circuit runs at. Generally speaking, the higher the voltage, the cleaner and more solid the sound. So let's journey into this world, because with this pedal and with a lot of fuzz pedals, this is where the fun stuff starts to happen. You'll notice when I'm trying stuff out, I tend to cover a wide range on the guitar because I want to hear how things sound down low and how things sound up high, because it'll respond differently. Even the gating of a circuit like this will respond differently depending on what frequencies you're sending it. So far, the bias control is almost as much a change in the feel of the note and sort of the attack of it as much as it is the sound. So let's go all the way the other direction. Up high, it kind of makes everything a little more grabby feeling. There's still some gating going on, but it seems the most neutral. You can even hear how the noise of the pedal starts to come in around here. It seems the most neutral around here. So now we have the starve option here, which I suppose this is probably full voltage from the battery right here. Excuse me. That definitely feels bigger and more solid on the low end. Let's go back all the way the other direction. So that's like dead and dying almost right there. It's interesting how certain notes won't even barely open up the gate. So now I'm curious about if we've got this thing, we've got the starve set to where it's just barely working, what does the bias do as we scooch that around? this sounds cool with the neck pickup. If we turn the tone up, probably add a little more tooth to this. Now that's cool because that kind of opened it up a little bit to where it's got some more bite and quickness on the beginning of the note. That's fun. So let's try bias all the way up with this setting. So it's interesting, with the bias down, you get a slightly more smooth decay. There's sort of a quick envelope and then it dies down to a long decay, but if you have the bias up, you get a shorter decay. You almost get that, almost a crackly. Hear that? That's cool because the sound almost dies out and then comes back. I love stuff like that. So we've got the bias all the way up. Let's turn the starve all the way up. So here is the greatest strength. This is the strongest sounding signal with both of these all the way up. I'm going to dial back the tone a little bit and let's turn the fuzz up. So this is sort of like full blast. Yes, so there's a whole other world to explore here. A lot of fuzz pedals react differently depending on where your guitar volume is set. So where you might have sort of a full blast version, there's also a slightly dialed back version. Excuse me. Sort of a weird world of sounds to be found in there. That's interesting. With the bias dialed back, you almost get a clean preamp kind of sound. So there's a whole world you can just explore in the interaction between the guitar and a fuzz pedal. And with a pedal like this, that's why you usually want it to be first in your signal chain. So something fun that I like to do that not everybody can do because they don't have this on the guitar is hit a pedal like this with the magic button. So this is literally a harp pickup like you would find on a concert harp somewhere in the guitar body, which gives you this weird acoustic sort of sound. Which I dig. I mean, I'm into the avant-garde, so this gets pretty weird, but you can hear the sound of my fingers sliding across the string. So definitely an odd sound that doesn't have a ton of application in normal people music, but in improvisation and in recording and textural situations, it's fun to be able to access something like that. And when you're interacting with a circuit like this, that's capable of a lot of range of sound and strange gating type things. These sounds can be really cool. I love the sound of gear dying. This stuff really inspires me, and start to add this to your palette of options. It's really cool. So there you go. I hope this was instructional for you. Be brave, turn the knobs, kind of isolate each one, except for maybe the volume. You don't want to blow your eardrums out, but isolate each thing, listen to what it does in the circuit on its own, and then start trying to mess with things in combination. What happens if I turn down the fuzz and I turn the starve all the way down? Just get creative, and remember, if you find a sound once, you can always get back to it again, as long as you're using your ears. You don't want to dial in sounds with your eyes. You want to listen to what is sounding good to you. So as long as you're practicing using your hearing and not your vision, you'll be able to get back to a cool place. And the point is less that, for me at least, with pedals, I'm not looking for a thing that's a preset where when I turn it on, it's like I always get this sound, because whatever room I'm in or on a given day, like whatever the barometric pressure is like and how old my strings are and how tired my ears are, I'm going to hear things differently. So the point is more, do I have something that generates a lot of cool sounds that will then allow me to have a creative, meaningful moment? And can I know the thing and also just know how to listen well enough to dial it in to get somewhere cool on the fly? Yes, I know that I can always get a nice blazing fuzz sound out of this thing. So I know how to get there, turn the fuzz up, put the bias somewhere in the middle, and turn the starve all the way up. Like, that's accessible at all times. And from there, I know I can go any number of different directions and get weird. So I'd encourage you not to think of this as like a pedal having sort of a magic spot where the knobs always need to be parked in order to get what you want, but as this continuum where you can be continually pulling new and inspiring sounds out of it. So hope that was awesome for you. I enjoyed it. And let me know if you'd like to see me take this approach with some other pedals, or if you have any questions, please ask me in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe to my newsletter. You can do that at www.danphelps.com. Right there on the front, there's a place to enter your email with your little keyboard there, or your thumbs. And I send out news, information, missives, interesting stuff, and also there's a thing that I call the Friendship Club, which is sort of a special page on my website that's just for people who are on my email list. And I send out a new password to that periodically. So yeah, please do that. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.